right here, little beef. Y'all know us. We gonna always settle the beefs on here, right? Because I don't fight. But just yesterday, I told y'all, every time somebody see me out, they be like, damn, dog, you bigger than I thought. I can't stand up in this chair. And then you'll be like, God dang. So, right, I'm going to be the referee in this one. JJ Reddick and Doc Rivers got a little tit for tat out there in the public sphere. As y'all know, JJ Reddick's name is now buzzing as being potentially the next Lakers coach. I will ask my boy Jesse Buss, and I'll tell y'all what he told me. Never. But JJ Reddick used to play for my Clippers. That's why I really got a fondness for JJ Reddick. And Doc Rivers used to coach my Clippers, right? Now, we didn't win it all, but boy, name a more exciting team than Lob City, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. So let's talk about this beef real quick because JJ popped off on Doc. Doc said, oh, I got smoke for you too. So let's hear them both go at it. Let's go.
JJ Reddick was on the record getting on you pretty adamantly.
I've seen the trend for years. It's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. There's never accountability with that guy.
Did you two ever talk about that? Did you ever resolve that with one another?
No. JJ's had a problem with me for a while, and that's fine. Players do. In JJ's case, we didn't cite him back. With the Clippers, I stopped playing him as much because he wasn't very effective in the playoffs, but I'm fine with that. JJ Reddick's best numbers of his career was under one coach, and you're looking at him right here. I'm the one that grabbed him out of Milwaukee and decided to start him. From that point on, his career took off.
And Reddick hits his 93 in the game.
Woo! In case you forgot, JJ Reddick, I made you, homie. Basically, Doc Rivers saying that. Now, people forget Doc Rivers used to play basketball in the NBA. So there's a lot of that former player coming out right there like, dog, I ain't running from no smoke. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Matter of fact, I ain't even going to hype it up. Right? He ain't got no ego in it. So it's funny when a former player that's now in the media has to address an issue versus those guys who didn't play. You can see the guys who didn't play to get extra charged up because they trying to prove something because their ego ain't really full like an athlete's ego is. Excuse me, that's nasty. Our ego is full. We like, man, shut up. Man, shut up. JJ Reddick, I grabbed his ass out of Milwaukee, and he balled out for me, and all of a sudden he mad in his feelings because I had to sit him down because he wasn't doing nothing in the playoffs. God dang. That's your response? Yeah, it's called facts. And JJ mad. Now, JJ, this is interesting. JJ didn't let it go. You could tell when JJ went at him, he ain't let it go. It's always throw the team under the bus. It's always somebody else's fault. There's no accountability from you, Doc Rivers. No. Pick your pen back up. You ain't dropping no mics. Okay. Now, I ain't going to bore y'all with the details of what happened back then and now because they kind of summed it up. What's really going on right now is when JJ Reddick had his experience with Doc Rivers, there were a lot of issues under Doc Rivers. A lot of players were rumbling, talking about, Doc, come on, man, settle the beef. Remember Chris Paul had his issue with Blake Griffin. And then DeAndre Jordan was kind of caught in the middle, but really him and Blake was like besties. So it's like, I'm not really caught in the middle, but I ain't trying to take no side. And then JJ Reddick is sitting there, you know, his old analytical self. He's just trying to break it down like, dog, come on, man, let's just move past all this kind of stuff and let's just go get it. And all these things are working, right? But people blame Doc Rivers, maybe rightfully so, for not settling all these issues, putting out all those fires. Therefore, people thought that because he didn't put out those fires, that's what burned the house down. That's why we didn't win it all. That's why Lob City didn't go anywhere, not to its fullest potential. Okay, so you can blame Doc Rivers for that. But because that's a narrative out there, Doc Rivers doesn't take any responsibility, no accountability. He only won one chip with a big three. He had Lob City, didn't win it all. Oh, every time he has a lead in a series, he loses it all. Because that's all out there, and this is what I hate about this world. Because all that's out there, it allows you now entrance. It allows you now admission into conversations you want to have that ain't got nothing to do with that. Because Doc Rivers didn't put out those fires has nothing to do with the fact that you, JJ Reddick, are still mad at Doc Rivers because he benched you. You mad at Doc Rivers because of your issue with him. This ain't no Blake and Chris Paul issue. This ain't no issue with Doc Rivers and accountability with the Milwaukee Bucks. This is JJ Reddick still mad at Doc Rivers. Now, if you Doc Rivers, you're like, dog, okay. We ain't addressed it. Why we ain't going to address it? Because it ain't nothing to address. We can't change the facts. We can't change what happened. So what we going to address? Unless you're going to come at me like with a little more healthy dose of respect, we ain't got much to talk about. Now, it sounds like I'm taking Doc Rivers' side, so let me act like JJ Reddick, my best friend. Yeah, Doc, why don't you tell Blake and Chris Paul to get along? There are 30 teams in the NBA. 29 of them lose every single year. Doc found himself on that end of the stick a lot of times. Now, he won as well. Doc, why don't you just come at me and tell me, hey, man, you know, like man to man, and why you bench me? And you got to get out your feelings, bro. You get it with your muscles in pro sports. You get it with your activity, your production. I ain't your homie. I'm not your homie. And I ain't your babysitter either. So maybe Doc Rivers looked at the Chris Paul and Blake situation like, I'm a former player. I don't need no coach telling me to be cool with somebody. If we ain't cool, we ain't cool. Right? Just go out there and ball. That's all I need. So in this situation, it's hard for me to see where JJ Reddick is coming from. I would love for you guys to educate me in the comments, because what I saw, even without Doc's rebuttal, when I saw JJ Reddick in that emotional context, him coming out saying, yeah, you never take responsibility. That sounds like a story. That sounds like, oh, y'all believe this? Well, since y'all believe this, let me say this and add it to it, when that ain't really what it is. What it really is a guy who didn't let go of what he went through with a guy personally, and now trying to say it professionally, hiding it under the guise of this is just who that guy is. Y'all catch that? Catch that. All right, that'll do it for today's episode of Never Shut Up.